I went to my dad and I said, Papa, I'm ready. Like, I need some money to start. And he said, I will not invest.
Oh,
until
okay. How did you get an investor, Kairavi?
I also, towards the end of 12th grade, I was suffering from depression. I painted my face with acrylic paint because
Hi everyone, I'm Stuti and I'm your host for the Because She Can podcast. Thank you for tuning in for today's episode. I'm so excited because we have a super fun conversation lined up for you with our amazing guest for today, Kairavi. Kairavi is a 24-year-old who runs her own makeup brand called Typsy Beauty. What is more, she's also an acclaimed content creator and has also published 4 books. I can't wait to dive into this amazing conversation. Kairavi, thank you for joining us today.
thank you so much for having me.
Let's start here. You're 24 and that is the age where literally like everybody else is just figuring out, just getting to know who they are, and most people are probably going for their masters, or some people are literally just about entering the workforce for their first job. But you have had a very different journey. You started your brand, but before that you've already published 4 books, and you're also a content creator. You make makeup tutorials which are on YouTube and other social media channels. So I want to start there. Like, it's a very unique journey that you've had, and where did it start and how did it come about to be?
Okay, so basically, since I was a child, I was very ambitious with my ideas. If I wrote a poem, I wasn't happy with it just being in the diary. I wanted to publish it. If I came up with a business idea, I wanted to, even if it was a bake sale, I wanted to make it happen. So, when we were 16 years old, my cousin and I, we wrote the whole Ramayana in rhyme, and we would read
Yeah.
it out to people, and they would say, "You should make this a book." And obviously, we got super excited by that. We went to Scholastic, and that was our only goal: get it published by Scholastic.
So very goal oriented since you were 16.
Yeah, I think without realizing, but we were, and
That's amazing.
I they agreed to publish us, even though they didn't usually publish people under 18. And it
So
was a
you
great
convinced them.
we convinced them, and it was
Yeah.
a great experience, getting your first paycheck before you graduate from school. And I also, towards the end of 12th grade, I was suffering from depression, and I couldn't
Okay.
go to college. So I took 2 years off after school. And in that time, I wrote C is for cat, D is for depression.
We actually have your book in the studio, and it's so
Okay.
amazing. Like, everybody has to see Kervi's book.
So this is C is for cat, D is for depression. It's a children's book in rhyme, but it's for all ages.
Okay.
And basically, it explains depression through metaphors. And it's for like little kids to, like, when people around them don't know what they're going through, they can hand it to them and just say, read this, you'll understand. So that was kind of the idea behind it. And it came out during COVID, which was a time where a lot of people were suffering
Yeah.
with mental health issues.
Which
So,
was actually the other silent pandemic, like
yes.
globally.
And it also was great in a way because so many people became aware.
Yeah.
Before that, when I was going through it, it was very hush hush.
Yeah.
And for me, releasing the book was a way of like telling the world. And it was very scary to kind of come out with the fact that I was going through this. But after the pandemic, so many people were going through similar things that it became normalized.
But I really applaud you. It's a very, very brave decision to actually talk about your journey, even though mental health now is in the mainstream, but yet it's taboo and people suffer in silence. So, thank you. And you also shared with me that how this book actually came about. Like, that's very interesting
Yeah.
journey. So, if you can share that with us.
So I actually just wrote this for myself, and I wrote it actually in less than 2 hours, because at that time, when the emotions flow, things come out, and I never meant to publish it. And I
Yeah,
would talk to my therapist, and she and I would always talk in metaphors. And I read it to her, and she said, "You must publish it. You must publish it." And I was scared. In fact, my mom didn't want me to, because she said, everyone will know, you'll get associated with just this. And
yeah,
I felt at that time that if I can publish this, and if it can help even one person, then it'll make what I've been through a little bit more worth it. So I did that, and there are days where I feel very proud of it, there are days where I may regret it, but overall I'm very happy with how it came out and the fact
yeah.
that people can experience it.
And do you think in any way it was therapeutic for you, like releasing your feelings out in the world?
It was, and I think with someone who struggles with low self esteem, when people read your book and say, "Wow, you're so strong, you've done something great," it really helps you, kind of believe that on your own. So it did actually do wonders for me.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. Can you maybe read some few lines of your book, something that's really struck a chord with you?
I think I'll read you just my favorite line.
Okay.
And basically, it says, "You may never be normal like the next guy in line, but is anyone really normal? Is anyone really fine?" Because sometimes we feel only we are going through things
Yeah,
and we are not normal, but there is no normal. So that's why that's my favorite line.
that's so true. So much wisdom at such a young age, Kairavi.
Yeah,
You're like an old soul.
yeah, I guess in some ways.
So, Kairavi, you wrote this book, but as we all know, mental health, it's a lifelong journey. It's not like, I have a physical ailment, I've done this, the doctors prescribe me something, I've done it for a couple of months or years, whatever depending on what the situation may be, and I'm done. Mental health is a lifelong journey, and it's not a straight, it's not a linear path. I just wanted to ask you, like, for you as an individual, like, what are the steps you take, or do you have like a plan in place, like, to do things that when you feel very overwhelmed, or like the emotions are too much to handle, like, what is it that you do?
So I've been doing regular therapy for the last 7 years. I am also on medication, which helps a lot. And a lot of people have a stigma against medication, and they're scared to take it. But sometimes you need it, and you wouldn't be scared to take a crocin if you have fever. So
Yeah,
why are you scared to take this?
yeah.
So that definitely helps. I think alerting people around me that I'm not feeling okay helps,
Yeah,
because then they make sure not to trigger me further in any way.
that's
I
amazing. Like, ask for help, not
ask for
shy
help.
away from
Yeah,
it.
because otherwise you can't expect them to know how you're feeling
They
if you
can't
don't
read,
tell
they
them.
can't read your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I plan regular breaks for me, because I get very, very, I start feeling claustrophobic, and I
Hmm.
need something to look forward to. So we always say that these are like petrol pumps on a road, my therapist and I, and we need to constantly have things where I'll be like, okay, I need to get to there. And supposing I've planned a trip in July, then I'm like, okay, I'm doing this and I need to get to July. And after July, I'll
Hmm.
fix something else. So these like little roadblocks, they really help me get through.
So, like, you
Kind
plan travel breaks
Yeah,
to look forward to, and
yeah,
also make sure that you're not overwhelming yourself with a lot of work and other
yeah.
things around you.
Travel has actually really, really helped me.
Okay.
It like when nothing else works, then travel works, because It breaks
So-
routine completely.
So true.
And it just shows you another part of the world that makes you realize that
Yeah.
there's more to life.
That's amazing. So the book came out, and which was right when the pandemic hit. And along that, you were also creating content, makeup tutorials on YouTube and other social media channels.
So I eventually went to college 2 years after taking a break.
Okay.
And for me,
Where did you go?
I went to London College of Fashion.
Okay, nice.
And for me, college was just about getting back into the real world
Yeah.
more than what I was actually studying. I did study business, which has obviously helped me right now. But very honestly, going to class was not my priority.
What was?
My priority was going to the makeup stores and seeing what's new, what's
Yeah.
the latest thing, why it's better. Anyone who came to visit London, I would take them like a personal shopper and recommend different
Like,
things.
try this, try this.
Try this. This is better. That is better. So that's where I really built up my knowledge of makeup and product, and
Yeah.
where that dream got cemented that I want to start my own brand.
Okay, so you had the entrepreneurial bug, and in your own way, you were actually giving yourself like real time education
Yeah.
about the product.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, what is your makeup channel on YouTube called?
So YouTube, I'm not active. I'm more
Okay.
active on Instagram,
Okay.
and it's called Tipsy Princess because Tipsy Beauty.
Okay,
So,
guys,
yeah.
you have to check out Tipsy Princess.
Yeah.
She does some amazing makeup tutorials.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had more time for it now, but with the business, it's not that easy to create content, but I'm trying.
Let's talk about Tipsy Beauty now. And first and foremost, like when I heard this name, I was like, Tipsy Beauty and makeup. I don't get it, but it's catchy and it's zingy and it like just stuck in my head.
Yeah, I think that's the idea because no one forgets it when they're like, "What's your brand's name?" Tipsy. What? Tipsy? And then they like remember. So, tipsy is a state of mind where you feel free, confident, happy. It's not sober, it's not drunk. It's a metaphor for balance. It's a metaphor for that state of mind where you feel your best. And balance is also very important for us because we have a lot of unique and fun products, but we need to maintain a balance between it being fun and it being gimmicky. And between being good quality and serious and boring. So it really is about balancing out all these things and about how makeup makes you feel happy, free, confident is also what that tipsy state of mind kind of is. So that's where the name comes from.
It's very catchy. I have to give
I'm
you
glad.
that. So we do have some of your amazing products here at the studio. And I know I shouldn't ask you to choose, but I have to know which are some of your favorites and why.
It's like asking a mother to choose
I
between her children. And my team will kill me if I pick favorites. But I think I have two. One
Okay.
is this rose blush. It's kind of like a
Oh my
representative
God,
product
it's so
for us.
beautiful. Can I have a look?
Yeah, sure.
Like, please zoom into this. Like, it's literally, it's like this beautiful rose.
And for people who are just hearing the podcast, they need to search up and see
Yeah,
because
like
it really is something different.
I would never use this, Kairavi.
But nothing happens to the shape.
Oh, really?
That's the amazing part. Unless you've
Yeah.
used it for like a year, it won't really
Okay.
affect the shape.
Okay, that makes me.
So this product, we've kind of become, oh, the brand with the rose blush. So it's become a representative product. And our recent product is a lip and cheek oil, which is color
Okay.
changing. And
Oh, nice.
it's doing really well. Like it's flying off the shelves.
So you can use it on your cheeks as well as like
Yeah, so it's clear.
on the lips.
And then when you put it on, it turns pink. So people
Oh,
love
cool.
it. Yeah.
So like you have like I think these really fun products which are so experimental and yet like the quality is so amazing. So I just want to know a bit more about that. Like where do you produce them? Uh, what are your channels of sales? so to say?
Okay, so we're a 1 year old brand. So obviously, we're not available everywhere that we'd like to, but we are available on our own website, on Nika, on
Okay.
Amazon, and my favorite place is the kiosk that we have in Promenade because
Oh,
that's where you
wow.
can really tell your brand story and people can experience your products. We manufacture, we manufacture in countries like Italy, in Korea, some
Okay.
in Taiwan, basically places that are hot spots for beauty. And we
Okay.
don't have like one or two labs that we work with. We work with different labs according to where each product is best. So there's
Okay.
some labs that are best for eyeliner. So we do then
Oh,
eyeliner with
oh,
them.
nice.
And these are the labs that work with your big brands like your NARS and Huda and Rare Beauty and Fenty. So it's the same factories, it's the same labs, but it's just at a better cost and made for our skin tones.
So that's literally like combining the best of what the West has to give us, but which is made for the Indian audience here
Yeah.
in India.
Because right now, K beauty is really hot, but if
Yeah,
you use their colors and all, they don't suit
that's
us.
not for our skin
It's not
tone.
for us.
It
So,
doesn't make
how,
sense.
how do we get that quality and their expertise and make something that's suitable for us?
Yeah, I
So,
love
yeah.
it. And it's very different because we have a plethora of homegrown brands which are made in India.
Yeah.
But like this is distinct.
Yeah. So,
It's an
this is,
Indian brand but with international quality.
yeah.
And I just want to let you know that you said we're just a year old, but phenomenal. The amount you've achieved in a year is
Thank you.
amazing. Like I can't wait to see you in the next 5 years.
Thank you. I can't wait also. I think
So where do you see Tipsy Beauty in the next 5 years?
I get asked this question, and I think anyone in the startup world right now probably doesn't know that because things change so drastically. Like we don't even
Hmm.
make 1 year plans anymore. We make like 6 month, 3 month plans. So
Yeah.
5 years is like a really long time. But I would like Tipsy to be available in some places outside India because we are making international quality. So why not?
Yeah.
And I would like us to have some representative products that everyone knows. When they see it, they know Tipsy. Like if we're using a lip oil, it has to be Tipsy.
Of course, you are a branding genius and you came up with this amazing name. Uh, but also, how did it start? And like, what was your inspiration and motivation behind starting the brand?
So one of my dad's friend, my uncle, he obviously has seen me grow up. He's seen me in all these stages and seen me be obsessed with clothes and makeup and everything. And he told me that go finish college, come back, let's start a brand. So that was
So,
actually
this is when
something.
you're 20.
This was when I was not even 20, and I went to college. I came back because COVID happened, and I hadn't even finished college, and I was like, what are we waiting for? Because so many people would have thought of starting brands during COVID. So I went to him. I didn't know anything. I literally
Hmm.
just went to him with a product idea, saying that, hey, I have this idea, come on, let's start the brand. And he was like, okay, tell your dad, let's both invest money and then we'll come up with everything else. Let's start the brand. I went to my dad and I said, Papa, I'm ready. Like, I need some money to start. And he said,
Hmm.
I will not invest
Oh,
until,
okay.
yeah, until you get external investors.
Oh,
He's like,
wow.
I don't understand this space. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about it. And this is a rule in our family that if you want to start something, you need to first get an external investor to believe in your like proof of concept, and then we'll invest. And I was 21, not even 21. And I was like, how am I going to get an investor? So I put together very
How
amateur
did you get an investor, Kairavi?
I put together a very amateur presentation,
Yeah.
and Sanjay uncle introduced me to some people, and I went and I spoke to them, and I pitched, and they were like, "Okay, it's all great and fine, but we don't invest in rich kids." And I was like, "What?" I didn't expect that at all. And he was like, yeah, as a principal, we don't invest in rich kids because they don't have the same fire in their belly that, a kid who would be on the street if this doesn't work has.
Yeah. I mean, I
So,
don't blame from an external investor point of view.
yeah,
Yeah, it sounds very harsh, but just as an outsider looking in,
yeah,
like I
you
get
get
their
it.
point of
Yeah.
view.
So I was really taken aback. And then I was like, fire in your belly doesn't just come from monetary and financial reasons. I spent 2 years, 3 years in depression and I had nothing to wake up for. And today, this gives me a purpose. And this gives me something to work towards. And I have no other dream. So I can't afford for this to fail. This is the only thing I wanted to do since as
Hmm.
long as I can remember. And it giving me something to wake up for. And there's no option. This cannot fail. So then he decided to invest, and then my dad decided to invest. Then we, hired people, and that's kind of how we started.
A year back.
We started working on it more than a year back. We launched a year back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing like this trend. You're a very resolute, determined young woman. I have to point that out. From getting a publisher on board who doesn't publish kids below 18 to getting an investor at 21 when people are like, we don't want to invest in you for whatever reason. And that's commendable. Like I
Thank
just
you.
have to point
Yeah.
that out.
I mean, when we say it like this, I guess so. I never realized. But yeah, I think that when I really believe in something, then I just want it to happen and need to find a way.
So, you know what? I know you have a larger purpose with Tipsy Beauty beyond it being just a makeup brand. So, can you tell us a bit more about that? Your purpose and your mission behind the brand.
Yeah. So um, I feel that there's a narrative in the world right now where makeup is looked at as superficial. It's looked at as hiding your flaws.
Yeah.
It looks like it. People think that if you're wearing makeup, if you need makeup, you're ugly without it. There are a lot of different stereotypes that come with makeup,
A lot
and
of
there are
negative connotations.
negative stereotypes, and
Yeah.
a lot of people need makeup or enjoy makeup and feel more confident with it.
Yeah.
From our mother, grandmother's generation, that one bindi or that one lipstick or one kajal is something they're dependent on. And
Yeah.
it doesn't make them weak or too scared about their appearance or anything. It's just something that they enjoy. And a lot of skincare brands are promoting be comfortable in your natural skin and
Hmm.
blemishes are okay and all. And I think that's great, but most people don't relate to that. So, what if I'm not confident in my natural skin? What if I want to wear concealer? That's okay.
Yeah.
And what if that red lipstick I put on before a presentation makes me feel confident? And even if you just look at maybe the transgender community, makeup is their
Hmm.
form of self expression. That's
Yeah.
how they
Since
experiment
forever.
forever. So it
Yeah.
has this power that a lot of different people have benefited from. And I feel the negative stereotypes that are there in society really hamper it, because people who come to our stall, you'll see them
Yeah.
wearing full makeup, but they'll keep saying, "Mujhe natural chahiye, mujhe natural chahiye." And I'm like, you're not wearing natural makeup, but you're scared to admit that you want something more than that. And why is that? That's because of how society has made us feel as people who wear makeup.
So, Kervi, of course, in getting investors, external investors was a challenge, and you overcame that. But other than that, I feel like people just see the success and they forget the hard work and the challenges that have gone behind it. So, what were some of the biggest challenges or failures you had to overcome, especially as such a young entrepreneur in a highly competitive market?
I think one of my biggest struggles was my age. People not taking me seriously enough because I was a kid. I think being a boss of a team that's a lot older than you and a lot more
Hmm.
experienced than you is difficult. And I think you have to be very humble and open to the fact that they know more and ask and say that, hey, I don't know this. and please tell me, but still be their boss.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult balance, and being taken seriously is tough. But I think if you prove yourself, and if they know that, hey, in her domain, she knows what she's talking about, then they'll end up respecting you.
So a lot of shop talk.
Yeah.
Now to some fun stuff.
Yes.
You've been a content creator. You've done a lot of makeup tutorials on YouTube, and like I think makeup trends come and go like every second.
Yeah.
So like I want to ask you, like, when you look back and you're like, what were you thinking, Kairavi? Like, what is that one trend you tried and you were like, what in the world was I thinking?
I don't know my whole first 2 years. I don't know what I was doing. Once I painted my face with acrylic paint because
Really?
I didn't have white makeup, and I was doing a Halloween look and I wanted to
Okay.
do Hello Kitty,
Yeah.
and I didn't have any white makeup, so I painted it with white acrylic paint and it didn't come off. And like my
How did you
eyebrows,
take it off?
hair was coming off,
No way.
and my mom had to sit and I was crying and she was like trying to peel it off. It was a disaster. So I done a lot of this kind of stuff, but it all led to this, so it's fine.
But you went for it and had fun in the moment.
I did, and I was wondering why. Like, why did I do that? But it
Yeah.
felt like the right thing to do then.
I mean, I have to ask you this. Makeup brands and the entire industry is becoming such a saturated marketplace. And on top of that, like every celebrity,
It's
every celebrity and now every influencer, from like Selena Gomez to Deepika Padukone to Katrina Kaif, you name it, and they
They've
want to
launched.
they want to launch their own makeup brands.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, which ones are legit and which ones aren't?
Oh,
Which
no.
ones are
Can
like
I
all
answer these?
fluff and no good? Yeah, because we need to know. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people are buying these brands just because of the celebrity name,
Yeah.
and they might not actually be good. We might actually be paying a very high price for something that's not good.
So, out of the celebrity makeup brands, of course, it started with Kylie, and then there
Yeah.
was Fenty, and then there was Rare, and there are tons of them. And the one that I really think is doing well now is Rare Beauty.
Oh my god, I love her blush. The
And they've
liquid
just
blush. I'm
launched.
obsessed.
Today, they said they're launching in India.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So, and we actually manufacture our products in the same lab
Okay, I'm
as
coming to you
Rare
for
Beauty.
blushes.
Yeah.
I'm a blush holder.
Come to us for blushes. But in the same lab in Korea, we manufacture our products.
Oh,
So,
wow.
but Rare is doing really well. I think Kylie is not good. Her lipsticks are really uncomfortable, and there's zero innovation in her products. Huda is the OG.
Of
No
course.
one can compare to Huda.
Yeah.
She's
She's amazing.
she's cracked it in a way that no one has.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fenty is also great, depends on what you're looking for. And out of the Indian ones, honestly, I haven't tried Deepika Padukone's brand because it's mostly skincare.
Yeah.
I've tried K Beauty and it's honestly not bad.
Okay.
It's one of the better Indian brands.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's the rundown of all the celebrity makeup brands.
This conversation wouldn't have been complete if I didn't
Yeah,
ask you that.
they're just booming every day. There's a new one.
I'm like, are they all making money?
Yeah, I mean, must be.
Like, clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your daily makeup routine?
So I'm actually quite a black or white person. Either I'm wearing full makeup, lashes, and lenses, and like the whole glam, or I'm wearing practically nothing. So I let my skin kind of breathe. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, if I'm going for like something like this or a dinner or something, then what I usually wear is concealer. I wear a little bit of like color on my lids with mascara, uh,
Mm.
lipstick, and blush, of course.
Yeah.
And highlighter also, but just a little bit. This is very toned down for me, but these days it's what I'm into.
So like it changes with the
It changes
seasons.
completely, changes.
And I like that. Like it
Yeah.
keeps it
Ye-
fun and different.
Yeah, I'm not a like kind of person. Like I'm not a minimal makeup kind of person or a heavy makeup kind of person. It just depends on the mood, the occasion, uh, the environment, anything. Yeah.
Acha. And then this leads me to my next question. Mascara or lipstick, if you had to choose between one?
Lipstick.
Like,
I think mascara you can live without. Lipstick I look dead without.
okay, so like
So
you like your bold
if I had
lips
to
and
wear just
color.
one product, I would wear lipstick.
This is the Because She Can podcast. So, what does that hashtag mean for you? Hashtag Because She Can.
Uh, I feel very lucky that I'm in an industry that's quite women led, where I don't really face as much um, like gender bias and discrimination as a lot of different industries, especially in the startup world too. But I'm also aware that that does happen, and I know that it's that much harder for a girl to achieve these things. And I feel very privileged and lucky that my parents have supported me, that everyone around me supported me and made it possible for me to do all these things. And uh, and the industry is such that it's a very women celebrated industry.
Kairavi, you told me that you started writing poems when you were very young as a way to express yourself. So, if you can please share a few lines of any one poem that's close to your heart, just for everybody listening in.
Okay, so since we've been talking about makeup and confidence, I'm going to read one that I wrote that's related to that. Every girl loves fashion, new styles, new colors, and new trends. But it hurts when you try something and don't look as good as your friends. You have to be a certain size, certain weight, and certain height. But when it comes to makeup, there is no wrong or right. People believe we use it to hide our flaws and can't leave our faces bare, but we actually use it to accentuate the beauty that is already there. That's one.
I love it. That was so sweet. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So now we have a very fun segment coming up, which is Rapid Fire with D. And we have D in the studio to take over. So thank you for coming.
Okay. So, Kairavi, thank you so much for being here and
Thank you
doing
so
this.
much for calling me.
You know, this whole tipsy beauty, I think the word tipsy is just genius. It's been stuck in my head. In fact, like when I was talking, I was like, oh, let's talk to Tipsy. I was like, no, let's talk to Kairavi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like get stuck in a loop.
Yeah, and you're
I'm
like,
so glad to hear that. That's like, okay, we've done something right.
It's
right.
marketing genius.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So for the Tipsy Princess, we'll do a rapid fire, and you don't have time to think, and you have to give really quick answers.
Okay, done.
Okay, done. Who's your favorite beauty influencer?
Huda Beauty. Huda Katan.
A favorite book?
It's a book no one's heard of, but it's called Sweet Gum Tree.
Sweet Gum Tree.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm going to put it on my
Yeah.
reading list. One person, one woman who inspires you, who's not your mother, who you're not related to.
I think Selena Gomez.
Interesting.
Because she's had a lot of mental health struggles, physical health struggles, and just a lot of negative media and stuff. And she just like keeps bouncing back. And she's created an amazing business and a brand I really look up to. So
And a
yeah,
person that we can all
Yeah.
look up to.
yeah,
Lovely. One word to describe you.
chaos.
Chaos. Oh God. I love this. I'm loving these visuals in my head right now.
Yeah.
Your favorite movie of all time?
Tangled.
Tangle. Oh my God, I
Yeah.
love that. And one superpower you wish you had.
Time. Yeah, like
Time.
being able to pause time.
Oh yeah, that would
Yeah,
be
because then you can like get things done and then play again.
and play again.
Yeah.
Okay, so last two. One person you would like to go out for dinner with, dead or alive.
My grandmother. She passed away like 10, 12 years ago before everything in my life started. And I would just love to talk to her and see what her opinion on what I've done is.
Amazing. She would be very, very, very proud of
That's
you.
very
Thank
sweet.
you.
Just as we are so proud of having someone like you
Thank
showing
you
us the
so
way.
much.
And last words, what does because she can represent for you?
I just think the statement itself is so powerful. Like when you hear it, you just get this like surge of like confidence, and it's like it makes you realize that hey, you have done something great, because it's not easy for women to achieve things in today's world, and it is that much harder. And what I've done is actually great.
It is.
So
It
yeah.
is. Thank you. Thank you so
you.
much for talking to us and your journey and creating these fantastic products. Really, you are beautiful and you're making, I think, everyone around
Yeah.
you beautiful
Oh,
with
thank
your
you.
products and your stories and you just being the
Thank you
person
so much.
are.
I'm so glad that I could share, and I hope it helped anybody to know that it may seem like someone is very successful, but there's a lot happening behind the scenes. So always to like remember that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to add, Kairavi, I appreciate you and admire you and thank you for your honesty about being so candid about your life's journey and struggles. It's very brave. Nobody, like a lot of people cannot do that. So I really appreciate that you took out the time and you shared your life journey with us.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for giving me a platform to even do that. But yeah, thank you so much for calling me.
So we have a little giveaway for you. So something for you to remember us with.
Thank you.
It's a little calendar and
These are tipsy colors also.
the tipsy
Like
So
you
it's
and I
perfect.
matching the couch.
Yeah.
This is matching the tipsy color.
Yeah.
So this was meant
this
to
is
be.
meant to be like a photo coordinator.